And I wanted to introduce Sarah Timms, who is the founder and president of Love Animals, to talk a little bit about how to be a part of this story or how to bring this story in to connect consumers around sustainability. So Sarah is the founder and president of Love Animals, which is a new nonprofit using innovative crowdfunding technology to dramatically increase giving to animal welfare and wildlife conservation groups. Sarah serves on the Women's Council at the Leeds School of Business, University of Colorado. The mission of the Women's Council is to provide access and connection for students to successful women business leaders who will provide their support and expertise and nourish both students and other women in the community to live up to their potential as entrepreneurs and leaders in business. So I'm going to hand the controls, but the controls are now given to Sarah so that she can show you an exciting way to engage on this topic.
Thanks so much, Caitlin. It's fantastic to get to talk to you all today about crowdfunding and how it's relevant to your customers and consumers. So I'm going to give you just a really high level overview of loveanimals.org and crowdfunding and what crowdfunding is and how it's changing the face of philanthropy and changing the way donors interact with the charities that they support. And then I'm going to quickly talk to you just about how Love Animals is working to partner with companies to offer ways for consumers to get involved and become empowered to help animal groups. And I can just Caitlin, do I have control of the screen? Okay.
Control.
Sorry about that. Okay, so loveanimals.org, we are a crowdfunding platform for animal welfare and wildlife conservation projects. And it's our mission to drastically increase giving to the animal sector, which currently receives just 2% of all giving in America. We are the first nonprofit platform that was formed specifically to help animal groups raise money for their important work. We were founded in January of 2012, and our platform went live in May of 2013. We went live in beta, and since we've raised over $100,000 for 67 animal projects. And 2014 will see Love Animals expand nationally, and then later into 2015 we'll be expanding internationally. Love Animals exists purely to help animal groups raise money, and it exists to help members of the public have a very easy way to support the causes that they care about. So because Love Animals is non-profit, we can work with animal groups throughout the country to help them be successful with crowdfunding technology, which can sometimes seem intimidating to animal groups. It's essentially our mission to be larger than Kickstarter and larger than Indiegogo and any of the other mega crowdfunding platforms that you may know about, and be entirely for animals. So for those of you who are not familiar with crowdfunding, it's actually a really simple concept, and it's not a new concept. The Statue of Liberty was actually crowdfunded over 100 years ago, and crowdfunding platforms are basically places where many different people or projects or entrepreneurs can put up projects that they need to raise money for. And many people come to a crowdfunding website like Love Animals, will search the different projects, and they will give any amount to the projects that most inspire them. They work on the basis that you can successfully raise large amounts of money if you focus on getting many people to give very small sums of money than if you focus on getting a few people to give large amounts of money. So crowdfunding is the buzzword of 2013, 2014. It's a very fast growing phenomenon, and essentially doubling year on year. So in 2012, crowdfunding platforms raised 2.7 billion. In 2013, they were estimated to raise 5.1 billion. And as we start to see data coming from 2013, it looks like that number was closer to $6 billion. So donors are using this. People, members of the public, are using crowdfunding platforms. Industry watchdogs are starting to predict that 50% of nonprofits' revenue and income will flow through crowdfunding platforms. So animal nonprofits need to be crowdfunding technology. They need to be working with Love Animals, running campaigns where they're trying to raise money, because if they have donors who have either a Facebook page, a Twitter account, or an email account, so basically everybody, then those people will be receiving appeals for funding from their friends and family to support crowdfunding campaigns. So Love Animals was launched because we believed that crowdfunding afforded this incredible opportunity to increase giving to this underfunded sector. And I'm just going to quickly show you the website, because that's really the best way to understand what a crowdfunding platform like Love Animals is. So it's basically a place where any animal lover can go to, and they will be directed there either by the campaign owner, so the nonprofit running the campaign, or they'll be directed there by a friend or family member who has supported a campaign and is suggesting that they should support that campaign too. And so some of my favorite examples of crowdfunding campaigns, we work with a group in Fort Collins in Colorado, and they've run campaign after campaign with us, and they're always successful. And crowdfunding is really about focusing on the donor, the experience of the donor, and not focusing on the need of the nonprofit. It makes it for a very interactive experience for the donor. So typically, if a donor goes to a nonprofit's website and they click on the donate button, they give their small gift, and that's typically the end of the experience for the donor. When a donor comes to Love Animals, they can search through all the different projects that are being posted by nonprofits throughout the country. And any animal nonprofit, any nonprofit in the country who wants to raise money to help animals, and that can be animals that are located in the US or animals located overseas, so conservation type projects, the donor can basically search as if they were going to Amazon and searching to buy a product. So we create this shopping experience for the donor. They get to look around at all the different projects and pick whichever one they think sounds the coolest. And they can make a very small donation in support of that project. The minimum donation size is $2. And they get to see the pie chart get ever closer to being funded. The deadline, nonprofits will choose a deadline and a funding goal. And so the donors to that project get to see their donation making a difference, helping the nonprofit reach its goal, and making sure that happens before it reaches its deadline. You'll see on the page that share the love icons. Those are given to those same icons are shown at various stages throughout the process to encourage them to share the project among their friends and family, so that essentially the donors are being turned into the mini advocates and marketers and fundraisers for that nonprofit. So crowdfunding is this really powerful way of engaging donors to make it fun and quick and easy to give a couple of bucks to help any number of nonprofits who are running projects on Love Animals at any given time. And as I say, you can the donors can search through the projects, and they're categorized in various ways. and we'll have various featured projects at any one time. So that's a really quick overview of Love Animals and how we're going to use crowdfunding technology to increase giving to this sector by removing any barriers for a donor who wants to give a couple of bucks to help an animal cause, because they can do it quickly and easily, and they can do it knowing that the projects posted on Love Animals are pre-vetted, and so the funding is going where they think it's going to, and we're allowing them to give to very specific projects. So no nonprofit on Love Animals can just run a general funding campaign. They're raising money for very specific and tangible projects, whether it's to buy food for their shelter, medical supplies, medical equipment. A donor will be able to find a project that is inspiring to them to support. And so Love Animals started to look at what other crowdfunding platforms were doing in the market. Not non-profit platforms that are focused on other sectors, for example, education or international development. And we started speaking to them about how they were working with corporations, because this is important to corporations, because what we call donors, the donors to the nonprofits, you call customers. This is your customer base. If your customer has a Facebook page, a LinkedIn, a Twitter feed, an email account, they will be getting calls to support crowdfunding projects. And so we wanted to learn about what other crowdfunding platforms were doing to partner with with corporations. And we started to learn something very interesting, that it was in the same way that crowdfunding is really changing the face of philanthropy, because it's allowing any small donor to direct their giving and have real impact and see that impact. We were also starting to see that those same donors who were your customers were being engaged through crowdfunding by companies like yourselves. So most of your customers likely have the expectation that your company is going to be doing something to give back to society, to make the world a better place, to help animals, because your customers are animal lovers. And so crowdfunding is this unique opportunity for you to engage your customers in a new way. And so we put together a little packet, and I'm not going to go over these slides in too much detail because they're basically pulled from our packet that we are starting to send out to corporations about how corporations can work with Love Animals to engage their customers and employees and give them some of the control as it relates to giving back to the community. So this first piece was designed to allow companies that already have pre-selected nonprofits whom they support to partner with Love Animals and that nonprofit to run a matching crowdfunding campaign, i.e. the nonprofit posts a project on Love Animals, we work with them to be successful with their crowdfunding campaign, and those philanthropic dollars of the company are basically leveraged to the fullest extent possible by having the corporation do a match. The second option we explored came about because of some work we did with Donors Choose, who is a nonprofit crowdfunding campaign in the education space. They've partnered with corporations who buy gift cards and give those gift cards that are usable on Donors Choose. They give them to their most loyal customers and employees. Crate & Barrel partnered with Donors Choose, and they reported a 16% increase in sales among redeemers of those gift cards, and a 54% change in customers seeing Crate & Barrel as a community-minded company. And Crate & Barrel had this great setup where they would partner with Donors Choose, purchase gift cards, give them to their customers. It was a really easy turnkey option for Crate & Barrel that allowed them to really show their customers that they were giving back to society, that they wanted to help make a difference. And it engaged those customers to the extent that they saw an increase in sales. the final option that we are exploring with companies is around cause marketing promotions. And I just, Adam mentioned the icebreaker example of a company that is selling clothing, and the consumer can go onto a website, enter in a code, and see who made the materials that went into making that item of clothing by looking at farmers in New Zealand and that kind of thing. And Adam also mentioned that consumers are looking for ways to give back that are relevant to them. So they're looking to see their company that they are buying products from doing things that are personally relevant to them. And so we are in the process of developing a cause marketing promotional model whereby instead of a customer buying a product and a portion of the purchase price of that product is given back to charity, and that charity is selected by the corporation. We're exploring the option for instead that customer gets to be the one that selects which charity benefits from their purchase. And that's a really new phenomenon that is basically giving the customer the ability to direct who gets the benefit of their purchase. And all of that can be very controlled by the corporation. So the charities can be pre-selected, but the point is to offer your consumers a range of groups and charities that can benefit from their purchase. And so what we're learning is that offering these different options for corporations as we do research and see what other groups are doing is really a great way of engaging customers so that they're more engaged in your brand, they're more loyal, and your employees are also more engaged in your company. And all of that results in a more sustainable a more sustainable company. And so the future of Love Animals as we grow, well, as I mentioned, 2014 will see us expanding throughout the US and then internationally. In the next couple of weeks, we'll be rolling out new features that will enable not just nonprofits to run crowdfunding campaigns, but members of the public will be able to run crowdfunding campaigns that benefit their favorite nonprofits. Pet owners who need to pay for veterinary medical care will be able to crowdfund on our website in order to raise money to pay for that veterinary medical care. Love Animals is rolling out so that we start to integrate into schools, and schools will be able to run crowdfunding campaigns. And we are also looking at doing crowdfunding for disaster response and have already pilot tested that. So Love Animals is growing, crowdfunding is growing, and we urge you to think about how crowdfunding is a great way for you to engage with your customer base. And with that, I'll hand back over to Caitlin.
Hello, thank you, Sarah, for giving us that presentation on Love Animals. I think it's a really incredible way to start looking at where your impacts are coming from, how you can give back to those communities, whether they're animal communities or not, and how you can start engaging the consumer. So I think a lot of pet organizations have foundations and ways of giving back, but to kind of turn that power over to engage with your consumers so that they can pick their favorite nonprofit really could create some lasting impressions and build loyalty with your brand around sustainability and something really positive. So PISC is really kind of engaged with Love Animals on some opportunities to help connect our members with that opportunity. And if you're interested, please contact us or Sarah at Love Animals.